We are live from Cleveland here with Mike Miller, Let It Fly broadcast. My name is Brendan Bowers with Let It Fly. This is Mike Miller, two-time NBA champ, one of the best shooters in the game. Welcome to the first ever Let It Fly broadcast. The Let It Fly brand virtual camp powered by our partners at Shot Tracker. For the live stream today, you need to be following us on Twitter at Let It Fly brand, as well as Instagram. You can ask your questions through Twitter and Instagram. So we'll be checking the hashtag #MMVirtualCamp throughout the broadcast. So tweet or IG and tag your friends as well. And the most interesting questions are the ones that are going to get answered during the broadcast. So come with your best stuff, whatever you got. For those of you that might be wondering, what is a virtual camp? How does that work? The power of a virtual camp is the power of technology, bringing elite pro workouts to your mobile device, and you can track your shot attempts, makes and misses. By now, if you haven't already, definitely register, but you should be registered for the camp and have downloaded the app. If you haven't, you can search in the App Store Shot Tracker and then Player in your App Store for both iPhone and Android users. And if you have any problems finding that, tweet us, let us know on Instagram. We'll shoot that link over to you if you don't have it already. So what you're going to want to do is get your A+ Tech Elite Bundle with the Shot Tracker. You can get that by going to our website, letitflyperformance.com. Today we're offering 25% off, so go and jump on that right away. Take advantage of that opportunity. You're going to want to use the code ATEC at checkout. It's a great deal. If you don't have the Shot Tracker, you can still enter your stats manually, but you are eligible for prizes if you are using the A+ Tech shooting shirt with Shot Tracker. So you can do it manually, but you're going to want to be using the shirt to take full advantage of the opportunity. So how it works, for those of you that haven't gone through a camp yet, drills are going to be sent via email tomorrow morning and loaded into the Shot Tracker app. The drills are straight from Mike. They're his favorites, for shooting, and they also feature Let It Fly brand's Terry Rozier from the Boston Celtics, first round pick. He's straight out of Cleveland as well, right where we're broadcasting from. So that's what you're going to have access to, those workouts and drills, and you're going to get 72 hours to finish the drill by Monday night. And then all of your results will be seen by Mike, and we'll be giving out shout outs along the way. So if you're putting in work, we're going to know. Mike's going to know. He's going to be shouting you out on Twitter, shouting you out on Instagram, and that work's not going to go unnoticed. You're not only going to get better, but we're going to definitely be right with you, throughout that process. And, to see how you're stacking up to the competition, which is, a great part of the virtual camp, you can be checking the leaderboard at letitflyperformance.com/virtual camp. Then that's the central place to get all the information on the camp. And, that's where, all the information, the statistics will be, kept. So, do what you can to not only get better, not only get those shout outs, but to get yourself to the top of that leaderboard, because that's what it's all about. It's all about capitalizing on technology and getting better. And make sure, on a daily basis, you're staying locked to Let It Fly brand on Instagram and Twitter. We got a lot going on there. We're reposting on Instagram, the great workouts that people are sending us, rocking the A+ shooting shirt and the different gear. So if you're on Instagram and you're putting in work, send us a video. And if it's good, you're going to get featured on there. You can look through our feed right now and see, a lot of different, other young ballers that have been doing the same thing. So it's not too late to register. Like we said, just go to letitflyperformance.com, the virtual camp. We have 2 sessions. Session 1, like we talked about earlier, is this weekend, and all the results are cumulative. So we're going to be awarding prizes for the top performers and the best shooters. At the end of the session, you're going to get a lot of different things coming your way. So get locked in and stay tuned. And before we start, we just want to thank everybody for getting involved. If you have a question, like I said earlier, you want to use the hashtag #MMVirtualCamp. Thank you for all the great questions that we got already. We're going to start going through them and answering some of the top ones, right now. But, we got a question from at G Force. He asked Mike, what was your training regimen like in high school? For all the high school guys that are out there, thinking about what they needed to do, what were you doing back in the day?
First of all, thanks for the question. My training regimen was crazy. One of my biggest fears was always not putting in enough work and that someone else was putting in more. And I think that's why what we created here with the A-Tech and obviously with Shot Track, powering by Shot Tracker, it allows you to see what everyone was doing. I didn't have that ability, so I was always working so hard. But I was in the gym. My main focus was getting at first was getting up between 750 and 1,000 shots. As I started getting better, it was about making 750 to 1,000 shots. And the only reason I started doing that is because anyone can go in the gym and shoot 1,000 shots. All it is time. But what you want to focus in on is making shots. So I was in the gym. I love the gym. It was my sanctuary. So it really hasn't changed. Nothing's really changed with my age. That's the only thing.
Mike, you went to the NBA Finals twice. You won. You came back with 2 rings. Can you talk about? We have a question from Jay. I'll retweet it right here. Thanks, Jay, for the question. He asked, Mike, what was your most memorable moment in the NBA Finals against the Spurs 3 years ago? So the trip against the Spurs, what was your most memorable moment there?
Jay, what's going on, man? That's a good question. And the most memorable, besides obviously winning the championship, because that never goes away, the one-shoe shot. I think that was obviously something very unique. And maybe I'm a better shooter. I'm 100% with one shoe on, so maybe I'm a better shooter with one shoe. I'll try it next year.
That drill's not in the app.
No, we kept that drill off the app, but we can always add it. We can always add it.
We had a question here, another one from Greg. What's your favorite post-game meal?
Greg, favorite post-game meal? I don't know. I'm a light eater after games, so it's hard for me to come down after games. You relive so many of the things during the game, so I don't eat a whole lot after the game. But maybe we'll post up or we'll think about it this year and post something.
There you go. And if you guys, if there's any, if you guys out there, you got a favorite drill or you got a post-game meal that's been working for you, tweet it out there. Let everyone in the community, kind of learn from each other and, get that information out there. So if there's something, like that's working for you, let us know. We all are here, to get better.
It's always okay to give away your secrets. Just don't give them all away.
Mike, you played for, a few teams in the league. Do you have a favorite team? Or that was a question from Jordan Boyd. Jordan, thanks for the question.
Jordan, first of all, it's awfully kind because I played for more than a few. But obviously, every place has been a blessing. Everyone's unique and different. But you always lean back on the championship teams and winning championships. We're fortunate enough to win 2 in Miami with a great group of guys. But I've been totally blessed and now starting my 16th season this year with another team. And it's just an unbelievable journey, but it was put through hard work, and it's nothing that you guys can't accomplish there. So hopefully someday you'll be sitting here asking what your favorite team was.
That's great. And Mike, a guy you played with in Miami and Cleveland. We had a question here.
Who's that?
Actually, another one from Jordan. Can you describe your relationship with LeBron, through the years and in Miami and Cleveland, how that, relationship, evolved, over the years?
First of all, LeBron is one of the best teammates ever. Obviously, we've shared a lot just because we won championships. Been through a lot of wars together. Game 7s in the playoffs, Game 7s in the NBA Finals. You learn a lot about people when you go through that. The highs and lows of a season, the expectations of a season. He's always just been a fantastic teammate, a guy that I consider one of my best friends. And it's gonna be tough leaving him again this year, but I wish him all the best. And it's been an unbelievable ride being a teammate of his and every one of my teammates that I've had, because it takes a lot of guys to win and a lot of guys to be successful. It's the same thing for you guys growing up. It's going to take a lot of support from your family. It's going to take a lot of support from the people around you. Just make sure you understand that and show them the love that they deserve.
It's a great answer right there, and kind of like right along that, taking advantage of every opportunity, making it the best. We have a question from Lori, retweeting it here. So for all these questions, if you guys are at Let It Fly Brand on Twitter, we're retweeting them as we answer questions from Lori. At what age was it the most fun to play? I mean, you've had fun throughout your career, but was there different, like maybe in grade school or high school, or did it ever become, more of a job? Or how do you kind of look at that?
Age is a number, because I still feel like I'm 16 years old. At least I act like it. My wife and kids probably tell you the same thing. But for me, it's always been fun. And when the fun leaves, I'm going to leave. Basketball, I have too much respect for basketball. And I have too much respect for how much work you have to put in to be the best at it. It's no different than anything in life. Whatever your passion is, whatever you love doing, you're going to put time in, because you're going to want to see success. So whether it's basketball or baseball or football or business, whatever it is that you love and you have a passion for, there's never the losing is not fun, but there's never not fun. I don't ever have a time where I wake up, and I haven't yet, where it's like, man, I have to go to the gym. I'm excited to go to the gym. I love spending time in the gym. Now that I have kids, it makes it even more fun because I take them to the gym. So it's no age. I mean, for me, I'm 35 now, but I still act and do the things like I'm 16. So it's just I've been blessed to be where I'm at. That's a good question.
And that's kind of an important thing, right, Mike, to always keep it fun and to make sure that, wherever you're at, just to make sure you're putting in the work, but always having fun at the same time.
Yeah.
We got another question from James at Pac-Man James. How many hours a day do you spend shooting every day?
Pac-Man, that's a good question, Pac-Man. I would say it's slowed down a little bit. The last question, obviously, I talked about age, and I still act like I'm 16. Unfortunately, I'm not. So for me, I have to work smarter sometimes and harder. But I'm still in the gym for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. And the good thing about that is I get my work in. I know who I am at this point in my career. Before, I was working on every drill, trying to get better at everything. Now I know where I'm at with my career, how I'm going to be successful on the court. I think that's one of the most important things you can understand as a player is know who you are, know what you are going to be good at, what you want to be good at. What is your outcome? What do you want to what do you want to accomplish? What is your goals? And is your to-do list that you do every day, is that meeting your goals, or is that giving you the ability to reach your goals? If that to-do list doesn't match where your outcome or what your goal is, you're not doing the right things. And that's one thing I always looked at is, so I never had a set time, but if it took me 3 hours in the gym to make sure I did my to-do list that met my goals, I spent 3 hours in the gym. If it was 4 hours, it was 4 hours. But, for me, that was the fun part about the journey.
And about those goals, too, a lot of those goals are what kind of inspired, the app, too, right? The different drills that people are going to be getting when they download.
It's totally. It's why I created Let It Fly. That's one of the reasons I created it was to give the tools to kids, young kids, or basketball lovers, or to inspire them to get the most out of their abilities. And I think this is a perfect indication of what we're trying to do, and that we'll continue to build at Let It Fly for sure.
That's why it's so valuable. You guys are asking questions like, how many hours a day do you spend? What are you doing? That's where you're going to have the opportunity to find out and do right along, with Mike.
And a lot of it through that is the creation of why we did it. I spent so many times. This is my 16th season in the league, but 20 years of R&D, right?
Yeah.
We spent 20 years of R&D of figuring out what's the best for shooters, what's the best fit, what's the best things, what's the things I know that you got to look for, and how I'm comfortable being a shooter. And I feel like I can make some shots, so hopefully we can pass it on to the rest of these guys.
Got a question from Davion. How will your role change in your 16th season, Mike, with the new team next year? How do you expect your role to change this year? You bring a lot to the team, in terms of leadership and experience. What are you, kind of thinking about heading into that next journey?
Oh, good question. Obviously, with age, things do change, so my role will change. I think I'm a guy that can still bring a lot to the table, whether it's in the locker room, on the court, on the bench. I still feel like I got a lot left in the tank. I really do. I've been training hard. I'm in great shape right now. And so I'm excited for the next year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And whatever my role is, I'm going to attack that role 100% head on and do the best I can. It's the way I've always lived.
We got another question here from Paul. The guy he's talking about was a superstar. His career got kind of cut short by injury. But what was it like playing with T-Mac, Tracy McGrady?
T-Mac was special. Paul, that's a good question. T-Mac, again, another great teammate. I've used the word a lot, but I've been blessed through this whole journey of having great teammates. A lot of the reasons for my successes and why I'm still sitting here and still playing my 16th season is learning and being around guys like Tracy McGrady. Again, I consider him a close friend. I talk to him still. And his talent level was like none other. I think he's one of the best scorers this league has ever seen. He had a ability to score from anywhere on the floor. He was athletic. He was long. He could post up. He could shoot jumpers. He could handle. He could pass. Very underrated passer. One of the best I played with. He just had the whole package, and he always had counter to anything anyone ever brought to him. So I witnessed him score a lot of points in this league, and great teammate, fun guy to be around.
Actually, another teammate, you were quoted recently in Slam Magazine, played with Jason Williams. What was he like to play with? He was, a human highlight reel at this time. Like, what was it like playing with him?
He was a human highlight film for sure, but what people don't ever realize about Jason Williams is his fundamentals were crazy. For a guy to be able to do those things, the respect I had for him was people don't realize how much time you have to spend in the gym to be able to do the things he did. And he had a true passion and love for basketball. Probably one of the most intelligent. I put him up there with LeBron and a few others as intelligent basketball players. One of the most intelligent basketball players I've ever been around. Just understood the game and knew the game.
Yeah, and kind of getting back to the camp and the app and what everyone's out there downloading. What are some of the just main things, beyond the tactical execution of the drills? What are some of the main things you want, people to take away? And you talked about that research and development, and what are you really trying to kind of do here?
Well, build the foundation to work. Like for me, it's camps are great, and I think one thing about the virtual camp that I love and I thought was one of the most unique things that I've ever seen is that it sometimes is not convenient for people to get to camps, but we don't want to stop putting out product for people to see and people to get better. My whole objective here is for people to get better. Understand putting in a foundation of how you're going to get better and seeing those results and continue to get better and working at those things. I always use the adage, you don't build a house on a sand hill, right? So whatever you do for your foundation, build it out of cement. And that's with your faith, that's with your basketball, that's with everything. And if you do those things, good things will happen for sure.
What was it like, throughout the summer, seeing those things happen with the Summer of the Shooter, with all the kind of activity that was going on and the momentum that was going on? What was that like for you to kind of see that materialize this summer with everything?
Well, the feedback's been incredible. Obviously, we have a lot of people to thank. My team's amazing. The people that are behind the scenes that do this. But you guys too, the consumers, the people that are falling in love with what we're bringing out there, the feedback has been great, and that's why we do it though. We really, I set out for this for Let It Fly to be a success in my eyes was being for the people and giving the people what they want. And if I make one kid better, or it changes one kid's life, or has the ability to steer him in the way of some of the things and the way we think, and the way we act as a brand, then I've won. I've been successful. So we don't judge this on anything but that.
That's awesome. And getting back to the questions from Twitter, and you could use the tweet at us or use that hashtag #MMVirtualCamp. This one's from Coach Lon Perry on Twitter. What do you do, Mike, to make yourself stronger? In the weight room or outside of the gym.
Coach, first of all, thanks for being a coach. You're a legend. I think the one thing I focus in on now as I've gotten older is core strength and leg strength. I'm not, for me, I've had a few back issues. Knock on wood, I've been fantastic for the last 2 years with my back, which is great. but I'm core and legs. I think a lot of your shooting, a lot of what I'm doing in the weight room translates now. There's obviously always trends, and Olympic lifting and getting stronger and getting bigger. My trend and where I'm at and what I want to accomplish, I'll make sure my weight schedule translates to my basketball game. And for me, I'm in the shooting area right now, so it's all strength and legs and core. So as long as I'm healthy and out there, I feel like I can make shots.
And speaking of making shots, we had a follow-up question from Coach Lon. What's more important in terms of shooting? When it comes to shooting, should you focusing on your form or reps? Like, what would you say is more important?
Coach, another good question. I think those both form and reps go hand in hand. I think I always say it's one of the reasons I started this is you build a house on cement. So you start with your foundation. What is your foundation? Your foundation is your form, right? The form is something that you have to master if you want to be a consistent shooter. I feel like there's only one or two real right ways to shoot. However, the most important way to shoot is making sure your finish is exactly where it needs to be. So if you work on your form first, and then it's repping that form. It's the 10,000. It's the 10,000 reps. It's the 10 million reps. That's how you get better. That's how you become more consistent. And it's never too late to rep out. Sometimes it's too late to crack back in form. I've done it a couple times in the league. I think it was my third year. I was at a 37 or 38% 39% 3-point shooter, and I wasn't happy with it. I got with my shooting coach, Bob Tate, who I think is one of the best in the world, and we redid the whole thing. And I think for me, it's leaving your ego at the door and understanding. And they got to that form and then rep that form out like crazy, and then you get comfortable with it. So when you go in the gym and you get in the game, there's nothing up there but a hoop, and you hope to make more than you miss.
And what is there anything as far as when you're in there shooting, getting reps up? Is there like a number that you really try to focus on as far as making X amount or X amount in a row?
I was always 1,000 shot maker. I don't know where I got the number from. There's no science behind it, but I felt like 1,000. I know what I felt like after 1,000. I felt like there wasn't too many people out there that could go out there and make 1,000. So I felt like I was doing my job that day. And I always focused on makes, because at the end of the day, it's all about making shots in games. So like I said before, anyone can go out there and shoot 1,000 shots. It's about making 1,000 shots.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just kind of wanted to remind you guys, we talked about it in the beginning, but like we said, it's not too late to register. For the virtual camp, you want to go to letitflyperformance.com, which is where you're watching this live feed, but /virtual camp. So right here on the website, /virtual camp. Like we said in the beginning, we have 2 sessions. Session 1 is this weekend, so you're gonna want to jump on that right away.
And before we close out here, I saw a video when you're flashing through there of Terry Rozier. We are so happy to have Terry part of the Let It Fly family. If you haven't already, go check him out. I think he's going to be special in this league. I think Boston got a steal with Terry at his pick. I think you'll see him very quickly making some serious noise in the NBA. I can't tell you how proud we are as an organization to have him part of Let It Fly brand, and how good he is as a player, times that by 5 as a person, which is even better. So check out Terry Rozier when y'all get a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And, everybody that logged on, we really appreciate it. Thank you for all the great questions. We'll be back doing this again, so stay tuned. Keep your eyes out at Let It Fly on Twitter and Instagram. And, get that virtual camp. Get going on the camp, start getting yourself better. And, Mike will be staying in touch, right, Mike?
Yeah, and any feedback y'all got, what do you guys need next from Let It Fly? What do you guys see? We listen. For us, it's all about the people. It's about giving them what they need and what they want to make them better. So anytime you guys got a suggestion on what you guys want from Let It Fly, feel free to let us know, and we'll definitely do our best to accommodate you in any way to make sure that you guys get better. But there is one thing for sure is when you go to that virtual camp, I will be watching. I will see what you do, and I will let you know how I feel. Y'all have fun, man. Let it fly.
There it is. Thanks, guys.